Hello, this is Dr. Davis for PE 381 at Indiana State University, Exercise Physiology. This is overview of the syllabus for spring 2021. Just a couple of things to start off with. One, I hope this is actually the longest video that I record for the semester. Not saying that I want it to be long, but I don't want any of the others that I post to be longer than this one. But you are responsible for the material that's here, which is also in the syllabus. And if you've got any questions, please let me know. Just saying you didn't know or you didn't understand is never an excuse. Okay, but before we start and really get into the syllabus, just want to remind you that due to the ongoing pandemic, that COVID is still is around, and we need to be cognizant of that. So whenever you're in class or on campus, you need to wear a mask that covers your nose and your mouth. Obviously, if you're eating or drinking in class, then you can take it down while you're doing that, but keep that to a minimum, please. If I see that you're not wearing your mask, I'll ask you to put one on. If you refuse to do so, I will cancel class. Everybody will still be responsible for the material that we did not cover. You, the person that refused to wear your mask, will lose all participation points that you have already earned, that you could have earned that day, and that you could earn in the future. So this will ultimately cost you 5% of your grade, if not more, and then you will be reported to the Office of Student Conduct. Didn't have anything with that last semester, but I want to make that clear for this semester. My office hours, Monday, Wednesday, Fridays are the best days to get a hold of me in my office, since I teach all day Tuesday and Thursday. And really, if it comes down to it, Wednesday and Friday are much better than Mondays, because I usually have several meetings on Mondays. If these times don't work for you, I am almost always on campus between 9 to 5. So you can send me an email and we can try and set up a time to meet. And during office hours or during these appointment times, we can meet via Zoom. Instructions on how to set up an appointment with me if it's outside of office hours are provided on Blackboard. So please do that. And if you email me and say, hey, when can we meet? I will refer you back to Blackboard. My office currently is in the Applied Health Science Building, or the new arena, or whatever you want to call it, A254. So it's on the second floor. You go up to the top of the stairs, make a couple lefts, go through a glass door. The first hallway on your right, I'm in the first office. So there you go. When it comes to cell phones and laptops, you will likely need at least your laptop every day, because we're going to do activities in class that include some writing assignments that will be done in class. You will always need a laptop for your exam. Cell phones, generally I only let you use those during your clickers, and they must be on silent. If you're using your phone or computer during class for something other than class, you might be asked to leave, and I reserve the right to give you a 0 for the participation for that day. And depending on if this is the second or third or whatever time, you could also lose participation points for the rest of the semester. Again, this could cost you 5% of your grade, so please don't do that. If you want to get a hold of me, email is the best way. One of our jobs here at the university is help teach you how to be professional. So if you just say, hey, dude, you call me by my first name, that sort of thing, I will just ignore the email. I won't even respond to it. So please be respectful. If you do email me, my goal is to get back to you by noon the following day. Okay, and so if that means that if you email me on Friday, probably anytime after about 1 o'clock, I will likely not get back to you until Monday at noon. Sending multiple emails is not going to help your cause, and so please don't do that. And depending on what you're asking, I might actually have you come into my office, or we can do a Zoom meeting, especially if it's related to content and just something that you're struggling with. At the end of the day, you're ultimately responsible to check your Blackboard and your ISU email for announcements. I use announcements a lot. Many of you are aware of this since you had me for 220. Every once in a while, I'll get a student go, I don't use my ISU email. That's fine, but it's not my responsibility to find your email and send it to you. So there you go. Please don't write like this. I'll just keep this up here for a minute. As I've said every semester for the past several years, I think I know what this student was asking, but I'm not ever sure, and I never responded because I was just pretty confused, looking like Brittany here. Twitter, used to use it a lot. I didn't do so well in the fall. Just everything was crazy. I'm going to try and do a better job of it. So just be aware of it. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to have a Twitter account. There's actually a link on Blackboard that will send you to our Twitter feed. The SIs also run their own account. Okay, so quick overview with the grading. The participation should be over on the right a little bit. So anyway, grading 50% exams, 25% lab, 10% external brains, 10% quizzes, 5% participation. This is the exact same grading scale that I use in 220. It went well last semester. Exams are run the exact same way as 220. There's two parts. There's going to be an in-class part, or what I call in-class. I'll talk to you about that in a little bit later here. And then there's the out-of-class portion. Okay, Blackboard is going to drop your lowest score. We'll reference this here in a few minutes, but ultimately look at your syllabus and you'll see what I mean by that. Lab is run by Trevor. He and I are arch enemies, probably a better word. We're not really, but we give each other a hard time all the time. But we've tried really hard to make this class as good as we can. This is the second semester that I've been doing this class. He's, I think, in his sixth for the lab. So just bear with us. We do a good job of working together. If you have a question about lab and you come to me, I'll say, go talk to Trevor. That's his thing, and he's very good at it. When it comes to due dates, I never accept late work. External brain, this is where things start to get a little bit different this semester, and I will address this a little bit more later. But every week you're going to have 2 external brains. They're due before class at 10 in the morning. Due dates are always going to be 10 o'clock, either in the morning or in the evening, depending on what it is. Okay? But you have until 10 in the morning on every class. So Tuesday at 10, Thursday at 10, you're going to have an EB due. Blackboard's going to drop your lowest 2 scores. Okay? This is, again, something you don't need to ask me to do. Blackboard does it. With quizzes, there are 3 due each week, 2 before class, 1 before each of the classes, and then there's the weekly review quiz. Okay? Blackboard is going to drop the lowest 3 scores. And really what it is, it's going to drop the lowest 2 that were due before class, and then it's going to drop the lowest weekly quiz. Participation, same old, same old. You only need to earn 80% to get full credit, and this includes clickers, writing assignments, in-class activities, SI attendance, and I think that's about it. Every once in a while there's an extra credit activity that always goes to your participation. For those of you that have had me before for 220, I don't cap how many participation points you can earn, and I'll talk about that later. So you can actually get extra credit by doing all of the participation. And again, just to reiterate, I never accept late work. Okay, along those lines, many of you have seen this. This is a direct quote from a student that said, "You're going to learn a lot, have fun with the class, but Dr. Davis is a dick when it comes to due dates." Or at least that's what I'm assuming they meant. And ironically, they were trying to get into grad school. Funny, they didn't ask me for a letter of rec. But they were trying to get good enough grades so they get into PT school. And wasn't real happy that I didn't allow late assignments. So ultimately, I really don't allow them. So don't ever ask. Everything's available at least 1 week before the due date. The only kind of buffer, I guess, that's not the right word, but that I give is this first week. You actually technically have nothing due during the first week, and that's because people add classes. But that doesn't mean wait. If you do it like when it's normally due, then you're going to start off with on a good note. Okay, so there's nothing due week 1, but that means during week 2 you've got 4 EBs due and 6 quizzes. Okay, so just be aware of that. Overall grade, I don't round. I never have. I never will. You got to have a cutoff somewhere, and my cutoffs are 87% for a B+. Don't ask me what you can do. I'll give you the answer, and I'll just tell you this right now. If at the end of the semester you ask me what you could have done to do a better grade, I will likely tell you the same thing that my wife, whenever I have email or a student emails me and says, I could have done better, or what can I do, that sort of thing. And my wife, who is the nicest person in the world and also a teacher, says, what you need to do is you need to build a time machine. You need to go back. You need to kick yourself in the butt. And you need to do your assignments on time. Okay? That sounds a little harsh, but that's the reality of it. Generally speaking, when people are asking for increases in grades, there's multiple assignments they did not do, or that they didn't get full points on that they should have. Okay? Like I said, you get credit for all participation points, and there's always extra credit on each exam. It actually is a bad look in my mind for students to ask for extra credit. So, having said that, we're going to transition in how things are going to be run this semester, and it's very different. Okay? Before class, this is what you're expected to do. There will be videos from me, possibly from Khan Academy or some other place if I find some that I like. Up to this point, I haven't had a chance to look, but you can also watch other videos. Read the chapter or the sections of the chapter that I've let you know that will be beneficial. You need to complete your EB and you need to complete your quiz. Okay? When you come to class, we're going to review material. Just about everything that we talk about you should have heard about at least once, or you should have read about. Okay? So you're going to come to class, we're going to discuss, not me lecture, but we're going to discuss what you learned. There will likely be some sort of activities that we do every day. This is going to be a very active classroom. Okay, some of these you'll do individually. Some of these you'll do as a group, whether that be, there's all sorts of things, so I don't even know where to go. But they could include Kahoots, clicker questions. There will be clicker questions every day, using the big easel pads and other things. Okay, and then if you've got questions, I've got answers. But really, it's going to be a lot of you and your classmates working with each other, trying to understand, clarify, and then me and the SIs, or the SIs and I, are going to be there to answer questions, to clarify, to help you. Okay, this is going to be very different than 220 and likely very different than most classes you've ever had. Okay, this is the first time that I've done this. I'm very excited. I'm a little scared. And it could be a train wreck, right? And that's okay. And if it's a train wreck, we'll make adjustments, and I'll be cognizant of that as when it comes to grading. But this is, I'm doing this to help you. Okay? You guys will get a lot more out of class when you're active, as opposed to just sitting there trying to stay awake as I talk about my family or whatever it is I talk about. So just a reminder, I do my part. I take pride in what I do. I'm not perfect at it. I make mistakes. Students get upset at me all the time, and I'll share some of the comments that I get on my reviews during the first day of class. But I try my hardest. These are the things that I do. Okay, I need you to do your part, and that means watch the videos, do the readings, have questions, and be active in class. Okay, so I'm actually going to end here. There's going to be a second video that you can watch at your leisure that will go over in more detail how the grading actually works. Okay, so that's video 1. Hope you have a great day, and I look forward to seeing you all in a couple weeks.